Hi everybody, Laura here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a very festive holiday fox project to share with you. I'm going to be using several different Simon Says Stamp dies, combining them all in a fun little way. So I'll just walk you through what I'm using. The Christmas cloche is really a great way to create a little frame for any critter. The picture book fox is the star of the show, and then I have these two here to add accessories. This one here for a little greenery, and then this one here for a little texture. Okay, we're going to be using them all. Starting with the classic cloche duo. This one has a large and a small. I'm just going to be using the large one on this project. So I trimmed a panel of Hammermill white cardstock down just a little bit smaller than an A2 so I can have a little border around the edge. I'm going to die cut this cloche right in the center of this white panel. I'm going to take it off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and now this is going to act as like a frame. I'm going to leave it as is and everything's going behind it. Another thing you could do right here is back this with acetate and turn it into a cloche shaker. Another option. I'm not going to shake it up, but I am going to texture it up. So I'm using this Twinkling Stars embossing folder. This is Rainbow Splash, part of the Simon Says Stamp line, and I'm going to take this off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and it creates this gorgeous star background. Another option would be like a falling snow. Couldn't find mine, but a falling snow would be fantastic. But stars work just as well. Now for the picture book fox. There are a ton of critters to choose from in the picture book series. So there's panda, there's bears. I think there's giraffes and cats and dogs, but I went with a fox, and I'm going to do a combination of some buttercream and orange for the fox coloring. And all these colors, I was thinking ahead, really kind of go well together in contrast. The cream, the orange really pop on that dark blue background. And then I'm going to add a red Santa hat, red scarf. I'm thinking all the colors, bringing it in for the holidays, and they all work well together. A panda would work well for this too, that white and black panda. Just thinking color-wise. So here you have the cream for the eyes and the belly, the orange for the head and the body. And then now I'm going to take a little sliver of pink cardstock for the inner ear and also black cardstock. Another option you could do is die cut this whole thing out of white and add the color with Copic markers or ink blending. There's a lot of different ways you can add color to these critters. Okay, so I have the little bit of ears. Popping those out with my needle tool. What's this called? The Place and Pierce wand by Simon Says Stamp. I use it on every single card I make. Now I'm going to put this together. There isn't a backer for these animals, so you have to glue them to something, especially if you're going to want to pop them up on a project, which I'm going to do. You know why? Because dimension is life. So I'm just lightly gluing the head together. I'm going to do the head and the body separate. And I'm just using a little Barely Art glue. Not a ton of glue, because I want to kind of get behind this a little bit and trim it out with the scissors. So I was thinking not to glue it so close to the edges. That way I could slip my scissors kind of behind there and trim out this fox head. So just adhering the cute little nose, and then of course the little eyes. Another option that would be fun is a googly eye. I'm always here for a googly eye moment. Popping those in. Now I switched to the Place and Score embellishment wand. Both of these tools are absolute necessities. Now here's the body, doing it separately. And then I'm going to trim these out. Okay, so I'm taking my little detail scissors here, trying to carefully slip underneath. That way you don't see any of that excess backer. I don't want to see the backer. I just need something to hold all the pieces together. You don't have to worry about making this cutting look well. No one's going to see it. No one's going to see the janky backside. You know what I mean? So if it's a hot mess behind there, don't you worry about it. Okay, so there you have your fox body all glued together, put together. Now time to accessorize. So this is the stocking cat die, and I'm only using it for the stocking hat. I wanted to put a bright red Santa hat. When I saw this die come out, I was like, I'm going to use that hat on everything. And then the scarf for this Arthur the Snowman, I'm going to use that. So if you got critters kicking around, add a Santa hat, add a scarf. You could switch up the colors, use pattern paper. You could add a little white pom-pom to this hat. That would be cute as well. Look how cute this hat that kind of fits cocked on the side there. I mean, forget about it. Now for the red scarf, by the way, I'm using some bright red cardstock for a nice holiday kick. Now the scarf is a little bit wider than the fox's neck. Arthur the Snowman has a nice thick neck on him, but this little sweetie fox has got a thin neck. That's all right, going to do a little surgery here. Carefully just trimming it off, just lining up with the neck on the fox so that it doesn't look, too oversized. And then I'm just going to glue the little scarf ends over to the side. This is my favorite part. You can really make them look like they're flying in the wind, just like there's a fan on the fox and he's at a photo shoot. I love it. Okay, so there you got the fox with the scarf, and now I'm going to glue that hat on, cocking it on the side, because this holiday fox has swagger. And then now for the sentiment. I'm using a little piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to manipulate my sentiment to slightly be on an arch. This is the CZ Holiday Typewriter stamp set. Any stamp set will work. You just need a one-line sentiment. I took off the backing sheet from the stamp set. I'm laying it over top. So I got my black cardstock. I've got the cloche here so that I can see what kind of angle I need. Then that stamp sheeting, and it will stick so you can curve your sentiment and it will stick on that stamp sheeting. And once you get that perfect curve how you want it to go, using the MISTI, now you've got that curved sentiment. A little trick-a-rooney. And I'm going to emboss this sentiment in white onto this black cardstock. So first I'm prepping with the powder tool, inking it up with some Versamark ink. And we're not stamping it once. We're not stamping it twice. We're stamping it thrice to make it suffice. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's almost superstitious at this point. I'm not sure why I do it 3 times. It feels like it works. Pour it on some Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder, and then I'll heat this up with a heat gun. And then, here's a very professional way to do it. Lift your sleeve to wipe all that excess powder off. And then take the cloche die again to die cut that sentiment out. Take it off camera, and then now you have the perfect little arched sentiment on your cloche base. Put some thin foam tape on the back of my panel here. I'm going to pop it up on that emboss starred background very carefully. And then I'm just basically assembling everything at this point. Little foam tape slivers here. This is the Big Mama foam tape roll by Simon Says Stamp. I've really grown to love this foam tape. It's kind of thin, and I love that. But it gives you the dimension. And then now tucking in the little fox body, a little bit of foam tape behind them. I doubled up the foam tape for the head so it can kind of go a little bit above and a little bit just ever so slightly cocked to the side. I have a fog gray card base, thin little border, and then for the top I'm going to add a little greenery. This is the pine needle cluster, and I'm just going to cut a couple clusters to put at the top of the cloche, because if you've gone this far, go hard or go home is what they say for the holidays. So I'm gluing just a couple of little sprigs right there. And then to finish it off, these are the Peppermint Dazzling Gems by Simon Says Stamp. Just doing some for berries. Also, red enamel dots would work. But you know what I want to get my hands on? I want to get the Nuvo drops. I have a bottle of white Nuvo drops, and they are fantastic. But a bright red Nuvo drop would work beautifully for a red berry. I did the Dazzling Gems. They give it a little glitz, little glimmer and glitz for the holidays. You know what my kids would say about this fancy fox? They'd say, Mom, this fox has got sty, no cap. They say sty for style, and they say no cap for I ain't lying. there's your little tidbit of the day, keeping up with the youngins. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. No cap.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.